When Ava turned her car lights off, the fog seemed to take over. The trunks of trees disappeared, the fog silencing the world. It was eerily beautiful. Ava grabbed her bag from the trunk, repositioning some items. The red box near her shoulder felt out of place, but she promised her friend that she'd bring it. Ava looked at the map, making sure she'd used the correct trail, and headed off. Ava was no photographer, but she loved making an attempt. Her camera wasn't fancy, but could do the job. Besides, she was there to enjoy the moment. The photo was to decorate her wall. Sometimes she felt silly always having her camera at hand, but that was the thing about photography. You never knew when the perfect shot would come. Could be animals passing through, a glimpse of the mountains in the distance, or just how the light filters through the branches. A few weeks ago, Ava's friend sent her a photo from a wildlife photographer. Ava knew she had to go there. The green shade of grass melting into the current of the stream made the photo look surreal. The lines of fire between the trees from the rising sun sent goosebumps down Ava's spine. Ava knew she would never be able to personally take that photo. She lacked the skills and her camera lacked the ability, but she wanted to experience what the photographer had. Surprisingly, Ava was able to contact the wildlife photographer, asking about the route they took and what the area was like. The photographer was amused by how excited Ava was, but he warned her to be careful. She assured the photographer that she had been on many hikes in bear country. The photographer took a slow, deep breath and told Ava, "It's not bears you should be worried about." She asked him what he meant, but all the photographer said was that the place did not feel right. When Ava told this to her friend, she was a bit worried. That is until her friend looked into who the photographer actually was, showing her photos of a man older than their grandparents. Ava's friend told her that her grandfather gets scared when the blender is turned on. The photographer either gets scared too easy, or he's just trying to keep you on your toes so you don't do something stupid. So as a birthday gift to herself, she planned out a hike to the field. Ava's friend also gave her a gift, the red box on her shoulder. Between the maps Ava was able to find online and the directions the photographer gave, the hike to the field would take about 2 hours. Ava sighed, realizing between the drive and the hike it would be about 4.5 hours. She thought about waking up early for the drive, but this was an area she had never been to before. She was afraid of getting lost and missing the shot. Ava decided to leave after work on Friday, get a hotel down the road from the trail, and leave early Saturday morning for the field. Ava's friend met at her apartment Friday afternoon to send her off. Ava gave her all the details of the hotel, the trail, the field location, and the time frame when she was leaving. She was only to be out for the morning and jokingly added to call the police if she's not back by 6 that night. Her friend gave her a look and pulled out a small box from her purse. Ava's friend laughed. "My dad tested it out last week. He says it will handle even what you throw at it." Ava removed the packaging and pulled out the red box. Ava started laughing, knowing how badly she treats electronics. She gave her friend a big squeeze and hopped in the car. The drive was relaxing, a new scene around every bend, watching the sun dive down behind the trees. Ava pulled into the parking lot of the hotel, got a room key, and called it a night. The chilly morning air helped Ava wake up for the short drive to the trail. As she set off on the hike, she turned on a flashlight which made the fog around her glow. With every mile Ava hiked, the woods came alive with the critters waking up. When she finally broke free of the trees, a beautiful field opened up, dew setting on every blade of grass. The wildlife photographer told her there would be a large boulder near the stream where he took the shot. Ava turned to her right and saw something that could be a boulder off in the distance. As she started walking towards it, a doe crossed the field, got spooked, and took off. Ava set her camera up on the ground next to the boulder, trying to get the right angle. As she waited for the sun to continue rising, she took in the view. The field was stunning. When Ava turned to the left, she saw something large move by the tree line. She couldn't tell what it was, but knew this was bear country, so she made sure her bear spray was in easy reach. She wasn't too worried, because she wouldn't be there that long, but she kept looking back, making sure it didn't get any closer. When the sun reached the position Ava was waiting for, she took a few photos. Scanning through what she captured, she felt content. It was nothing like what the photographer captured, but she personally captured these. Ava jumped up on the boulder, eating a bar, taking in how the field changed with the rising sun. As she was looking around, she realized the creature near the tree line was no longer there, thinking it had moved on. That is, until she heard something land near her bag. Ava fell off the boulder as a loud crack echoed through the field. Ava looked over at her bag, not knowing what to expect. Walking over, she scanned the area but saw nothing out of place, just some tree limbs and rocks. Ava looked up as a blur hit the boulder she had just been sitting on. She jumped up again when the crack echoed. She turned around towards the area she thought the object had come from, but saw no one. Ava searched near the boulder to see what was thrown, but could not find anything. She ducked behind the boulder as another crack echoed through. A rock bounced, landing at her feet. Ava's mouth dropped when she looked at the football-sized rock. She slowly stood up, intently staring at the tree line. She screamed as a deep roar sliced through the silent field. Knowing that was no bear, she hurriedly grabbed her bag and ran back to the trail. Ava panically searched to her left for the trail. When she caught a glimpse of it, she leaped over the stream. Before entering the trail, she looked back and saw a dark black shape charging in her direction. Her bag was only a few pounds, but she considered dropping it, but was afraid to take her time grabbing her keys. She racked her brain thinking how long it would take her to run back to her car. She knew she wouldn't make it a half a mile without that creature catching up to her, so she made a choice. Ava took a breath, screamed as she turned around, letting loose the bear spray. She stood still. There was nothing. No bear. No creature. She had the sickening feeling that something was watching her. She turned back around and kept a constant jogging pace. She knew if she went any faster that she would run out of energy long before she was back at the car. Ava noticed the trail was declining and turning left ahead. Ava didn't remember any of this. She figured she just forgot, and she continued down the trail. The tree line thinned out, and Ava saw a field, the same field she had just been in. Ava's eyes got wide. No, no, no! She spun around, feeling the creature's eyes on her, expecting to see its face, only to see an empty trail. Ava turned back to the field, locating the boulder she was at. She raced down the tree line, passing the trail entrance she had first taken, her heart racing in her chest when she saw another trail come into view. She turned on the trail just as the sound of something grazed past her ear. She heard the creatures breathing around her in every direction. She wanted to stop, to face it, scare it, but her adrenaline pushed her forward. Ava hiked plenty, but running was not her strong suit, so she slowed to a quick walk after 20 minutes. She figured she still had a few miles left. Ava turned around, hoping nothing was there, but preparing herself for there to be. When she saw nothing, Ava grabbed the red box from her shoulder. She pushed a few buttons, trying to remember how the thing worked, when her location on the map came up. Ava had a little over a mile left until she reached the car. She pushed a couple more buttons until the messaging option appeared. She sent her coordinates and a simple message to her friend. Her friend quickly replied, "What do you mean something is following you?" Ava was about to respond when a large rock landed by her feet. She screamed, turned around, and saw a dark mass running toward her through the trees. Ava gathered what energy she had left and slowly sprinted the last mile. Ava's energy was draining fast. She saw her car in the parking lot and hurriedly reached in the chest pouch for her keys. As she slid in behind the wheel, she saw the creature stop at the edge of the tree line. It never once came closer. Ava put her car in reverse and left the parking lot as the creature let out one last deep roar.